New tonight from the team that's on your side.
A former judge takes the stand denying ever using a penis pump behind the bench.
In Tulsa, police take 5 children away from this home following a domestic dispute. Conditions in there, they said, were unfit for young children.
Tulsa Public Schools has a new superintendent, and he's getting paid big bucks. Is it too much? Parents and teachers react next.
Some kids make their mission fields in foreign countries. Others do their mission work right here in Tulsa.
This is News Channel at 6.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. A former judge takes the stand in his defense. Former Creek County Judge Thompson is accused of using a sexual device while on the bench.
He denied those charges in court today. News Channel 8's Abby Ross is in Bristow. She spent the day keeping a close eye on the proceedings. Abby?
Charles Thompson took the stand around 11 this morning, and his testimony lasted about 6 hours, beginning with the defense. Clark Brewster, Thompson's attorney, showed pictures of the former judge's courtroom. Thompson says there's no way court reporter Lisa Foster could have seen behind the bench. Foster testified yesterday she saw Thompson using the penis pump many times between 2001 and 2003. Thompson says he doesn't recall ever using a penis pump. He says it was a gag gift, and he brought it into the courtroom because he didn't want to leave it out in the open in his office. The prosecution asked Thompson if he knew someone was going to file a complaint about the pump. Thompson says he thought that they were just all rumors. And one more witness did take the stand today, and that was an attorney who was working a trial while Thompson was presiding, and he said that during that time he never saw or heard anything unusual. We are live in Bristow. Abby Ross, News Channel 8.
Thank you, Abby. Today, prosecutors questioned Thompson about firing his court reporter. She was let go shortly after making a report to the police. Thompson said it was a mutual agreement and the relationship wouldn't work with all the rumors. 5 children under the age of 8 are taken from Tulsa home and placed in protective custody.
Police were called to the 700 block of North Quaker because of a domestic dispute. They say they found a very disturbing situation. News Channel 8's Bill Mitchell shows us firsthand the conditions inside the home.
Neighbors tell us that the people had only lived in the home for several months, but police had been called several times because of domestic disputes.
Neighbors say drinking usually caused the disputes, and Virgie Jansen says they told the parents that the drinking and fighting could lead to the loss of the children.
You know, what can I say? Sad, very sad. But, you know, babies come first.
She adds the people in the trailer had several pit bulls and they were kept indoors.
Dogs have accidents, so they're going to hold that against me.
She agreed to show us the inside of the home if we didn't name her or show her face. The children belong to several families. She says she'll do whatever it takes to get her daughter back.
It depends on the risk to the child, the age of the child, how able are they to take care of themselves, and then are they in imminent risk of harm.
The state now has 2 days, 48 hours, to go before a judge and say why they should keep the children. In the meantime, the parent and grandparent of one of them says they will fight to get the child back. In Tulsa, Bill Mitchell, News Channel 8.
We did some checking and did find out that in Tulsa, children are taken into protective custody about a dozen times every month.
A huge mess can be left behind when one of Tulsa's giant trees comes down. The downburst that hit Midtown a few weeks ago did more than its share of damage. A number of huge trees were knocked out or so badly damaged they must be removed. That is no small chore. This tree in the Florence Park neighborhood weighed in at around 27,000 pounds. Today they finished cutting it down and lifting it over a house with this large crane. The tree had a large root system that extended more than 6 feet into the ground. Well, no storms lately, just lots of sun in this area.
And can we expect more of that? Meteorologist Clint Boone is in the First Alert Storm team with the very latest. Clint, that was a big tree they had to haul out of there.
Yeah, it took some big-time winds to down those trees. 3 weeks ago today, had winds of about 80 to up to 90 miles per hour with that downburst, but nothing like that across the region today. It's been more of like a fall-like day, at least in the morning, as temperatures started off in the 50s. Right now, we're at 87 degrees in the city of Tulsa, 88 in Okmulgee, 86 McAllister, 90 the warm spot in Stillwater. Looks like those temperatures are really going to be warming up over the next several days. Live Doppler 8,000, pretty quiet. Last hour we were tracking just a few light showers in Delaware County, but they have since dissipated as we expand out. Tracking some showers and storms in southwest Missouri, a few more in Kansas, and into the panhandle of Texas. Everybody hoping for a dry holiday weekend forecast, and we'll let you know if we're going to see any of that rain coming up a little bit later.
Thanks, Clint.
The new head of Tulsa's public schools comes with a big price tag. He'll take over the new job in August.
Dr. Michael Zukoski will earn up to $250,000. News Channel 8's James Lazata is live over in Midtown to tell us how some parents and teachers feel about this. James.
Well, some say it's a little too much, others say it's right on target. But one thing is sure, the big pay, bonuses, and perks in this contract do catch people's attention. Retired teacher Donna Kellum is back for the summer.
I felt I was needed.
It's sure not for the money. She makes a frustratingly low salary like most teachers, and despite a new pay raise for teachers, she says a $250,000 superintendent salary is over the top.
I know that the superintendent has a lot to do, but on a day-to-day basis, as teachers weren't really doing the job.
Dr. Michael Zolkowski's contract will pay him a base salary of $200,000. He'll earn $50,000 more for meeting district performance goals. He'll get a car allowance, paid health insurance, and travel expenses. And if he completes the 4-year contract, he gets a $160,000 bonus. School Board President Matt Livingood says this is the market rate for a qualified superintendent.
We're encouraging him to focus on some specific outcomes for the district, which, if he's able to accomplish them, they'll more than be worth the additional compensation.
The cost of this superintendent is not lost on parents. Some say he's worth it. Others say the price is too hefty.
That's too much for one person. An athlete gets paid $1 million. Surely an educator ought to be paid at least somewhat $250,000.
Everyone agrees teachers like Donna should get paid more. But many argue improving the district starts at the top and comes with a price. And tonight, Zolkowski will tell his current school board whether he wants to resign, retire with pay, or simply be let out of his contract. And he's set to begin work here full-time at the beginning of August. Live in Midtown, James Lazata, News Channel 8.
All right, thanks, James. Our 8 on Your Side team did call around today to see what other cities are paying their superintendents. For example, in Oklahoma City, they're searching for one right now and plan to offer $200,000 plus benefits. Little Rock and Wichita each pay about $180,000 plus benefits. The highest we found was in Omaha, Nebraska. Their superintendent gets a $235,000 salary. And by the way, Oklahoma State Superintendent Sandy Garrett gets just under $100,000 plus benefits.
A driver leads deputies on a high-speed chase that ends when he runs out of road. That chase started at Pine and Yale when the driver refused to pull over. It ended a short time later on Gilcrease Museum Road. That's where Pine comes to an end. The driver slammed into rocks and trees at the end of Pine, badly damaging the car. Deputies say he topped speeds at 80 miles an hour during the chase. He was taken to a hospital, and it turns out the car may have been stolen. A fatal car crash will send this Tulsa man to prison for 7 years. 20-year-old Richard Beltran pleaded no contest to first-degree manslaughter. He was drunk when he collided with a 52-year-old woman last August. His car crossed into oncoming traffic and slammed into her pickup truck.
Well, he's been on the Tulsa Police Department's most wanted list, and tonight he is behind bars. James Cutnose has been on the run for several weeks now. He is accused of committing rape behind the Pepsi plant near I-44. Earlier today, police found him at a park on the west side of the Arkansas River, right near 41st Street. He is being charged for first-degree rape and forcible sodomy. A West Tulsa neighborhood may be getting rid of the sex offenders on their block. This house has been home to sex offenders since last April, but community outrage forced them to leave earlier this month. But 2 different sex offenders have now moved back in. Now a resident is trying to buy the house, and if the sale does go through, they, of course, the sex offenders would have to move out. Well, the new smoking rules for Oklahoma restaurants took effect this year.
They were just in time. According to the latest from the Surgeon General, it was a smart move. 8 on Your Side's Mark Bradshaw has the latest report on secondhand smoke. Mark?
Chuck, the Surgeon General says smoking sections just don't work. His office today released a report on secondhand smoke. Researchers found that only smoke-free buildings and public places truly protect non-smokers from the effects of secondhand smoke. In March, all restaurants here in Oklahoma had to either go totally smoke-free or have a separate smoking room with powerful ventilation systems. Today's report also estimates that 126 million non-smokers are exposed to secondhand smoke, putting them at risk of death from lung cancer, heart disease, and other illnesses.
Secondhand smoke causes tens of thousands of heart disease deaths and approximately 3,000 cancer deaths amongst American non-smokers every year.
For more information about secondhand smoke and Oklahoma's new smoking law, call the Tulsa City County Health Department. We'll have the number on our website in the 8 on Your Side section of KTUL.com. Live on your side, Mark Bradshaw, News Channel 8.
If you have a story you want 8 on Your Side to know about, contact our investigators. Send an email to 8onyourSide@KTUL.com or call the 8 on Your Side hotline at 445-9508.
A woman facing a murder charge is suing the Tulsa jail.
You hear why this woman is claiming cruel and unusual punishment.
And I'm tracking quite a bit of heat off to our west. Take a look at temperatures in Salt Lake City and Boise, lower to upper 90s. Let you know how hot it will be in Tulsa over the next several days, coming up next.
Youth and missions closer to home. I'll have a live report.
Apartment complexes and neighborhoods, but they're not carrying guns, they're carrying Bibles.
Many normally take mission trips abroad, but this year they're exploring the needs within their own communities. And News Channel 8's Yvonne Harris actually joins us with a story of one place where in just one day they are already making a big difference.
They certainly are. In one day, Carol, there's already an overflow crowd at the Sandy Park Apartments at the kids' summer camp there. Local teens provide hours of entertainment, and the kids, well, they're just all soaking up all the attention.
You hit your side? Oh, I'm sorry.
For Laurel Wilson, fun is hanging out with a bunch of kids she's never met before today.
You have to be selfless to do this. This isn't something that we do for us.
Laurel is a junior at Metro Christian Academy who's making it her mission field, reaching kids across town in public housing.
And if I can make a difference in their lives and give them an opportunity and teach them something new or open their eyes to something that they haven't seen before, then that's totally worth it to me.
She may never know the difference she's making, but Patrice has been around kids at Sandy Park Apartments for 12 years.
Well, we don't have as much gang violence. We don't have as much mischief. They want to do good. They do good. So that's good.
This is the first day of camp, and more kids showed up than signed up.
We just want them to have a good time and also be around people that care about them and that can maybe be a positive influence in their life.
And there must be something to it. Colby has spent 6 months in Bolivia, but finds his calling wherever he's planted.
I really had a heart for people overseas, and so when I had the opportunity, I went, and I took that, and right now I'm here.
And I made some calls and did some checking and heard about some youth groups helping the elderly with maintenance and repairs around their house. They're part of World Changers, and they will be in Tulsa in a couple of weeks. Live in the newsroom, Yvonne Harris, News Channel 8.
Gosh, some great programs, thanks. Some teenagers, in fact, have traveled all the way from Texas to help and give back. The John 316 mission holds a summer camp every year at no cost for kids who qualify. It's the equivalent of Vacation Bible School throughout the summer.
You can minister in Sunset, Texas, but when you come out here and you're out of your comfort zone and you're new stuff every day, the kids are just so amazing and they hug on you from first minute, and it's just not only are you giving them love, but they're giving it back to you.
About 8 churches from Oklahoma and Texas provide volunteers every year for the John 316 Missions Summer Camp.
A woman is suing the Tulsa jail claiming cruel and unusual punishment. But that's not her only legal concern. She's also facing a first-degree murder charge. Melanie Toddy says the jail's policy prohibits visiting by children younger than 14. Toddy says that's kept her from seeing her 3-year-old daughter. She's in jail because she's accused of shooting and killing a man in April. In response to the lawsuit, the sheriff's office says the jail isn't the place for children. Now, when it comes to our kids and their well-being, Oklahoma is falling behind. A new report ranks the Sooner State 40th in the nation. That's 2 spots lower than last year. One of the reasons is the death rate for children below the age of 14. It increased by 16% between 2000 and 2003. Oklahoma also slipped when it comes to the teenage death rate and low birth weight babies. There was also an increase in the number of children living in poverty. Plus, there are more single-parent homes and more kids who don't have a parent with a full-time job.
Coming up tonight at 10, we're going to look at whether the new sex offender laws are going a little too far. Why one sex offender says he can't find a place to live. Plus, 8 on Your Side is looking to keep your kids safe, even though school is out for the summer. Speeding drivers can still be a risk to kids. We do our part to make one Tulsa neighborhood a little safer.
Not a Clinton weather. I just ran up to the car and it's 10 to 10 towards hot again.
It certainly is, and temperatures are going to continue to rise heading into the next several days. But this morning was nice. And the energy-efficient weather, turn the AC off. We're going to have to turn the AC back on big time over the next 3 or 4 days. Here's the reason why. The main storm track is going to be shifting farther to the north and northeast as we look at our jet stream, which, of course, is the track that all storm systems take. It's going to be taking a track more into Canada and heading in the northeastern United States. Big ridge of high pressure and hot weather out to our west is going to be moving in. And yes, we're going to be seeing those temperatures in the middle 90s heading in the end of the week and beginning of the weekend. Had all that rain throughout the eastern seaboard. That rain should move into far northeastern New England and into British Columbia. So we will see, again, some very hot weather headed our way. Let's go ahead and take a look at our live Viper for you as we are tracking a few showers and storms well up into northeast Kansas, back into Missouri, southwest Missouri. These are tracking this to the southeast, but a lot of dry air in place across Oklahoma, so we're not going to see any of this rain reach the Sooner State. We're about 3 inches below normal so far for the year, so we can use some more. May see our next chance beginning of next week. Currently 87 degrees on the 6 o'clock hour, 28% humidity, so yes, very dry air in place. Northwest winds at 6, barometer falling this morning. Again, a nice, comfortable 59 degrees. Let's go ahead and show you some other temperatures across northeast Oklahoma. 89 degrees in Bartlesville, 86 in Grove, 87 in Muskogee, 90 degrees this afternoon in Stillwater. Most locations tomorrow will be in the lower 90s. Right now across the metro, generally upper 80s to lower 90s, so not really a huge contrast. So high pressure is still keeping us quiet weather-wise, mostly clear skies, but that northwest flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere causing a few showers and storms up into Missouri. But again, the pattern shift is going to shift most of that rain well off to our east. Here's a check of our futurecast map beginning at 8 o'clock this evening. Skies will be mostly clear. Should be a very nice sunset about 8:45 tonight. Tomorrow morning's temperatures, not quite as cool as they were this morning. We'll have a little bit more of a south wind. 65 in the city of Tulsa, 65 in Pryor. Some of the outlying regions will be in the 50s, 56 tomorrow morning in Bartlesville, 54 Fayetteville, 59 degrees in Muskogee. And tomorrow afternoon, generally a mix of some sun and clouds. All locations will be in the lower 90s. So a comfortable start to our day. Probably won't need the AC heading off to work tomorrow morning with temperatures in the middle 60s. By lunchtime, warming up into the middle 80s. Light south winds tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon pretty close to normal in the lower 90s. Temperatures continue to warm up heading into Thursday. Backyard weather is in Broken Arrow for Thursday evening. Looking good. Friday, hot, 94 for a high. Middle 90s. Going to be quite windy for this upcoming weekend. Of course, this is the 4th of July weekend, a long weekend for many of you. Heading into the 4th of July, we will see some changes as a frontal approaches late Monday night to Tuesday. Could cause some showers and storms. Right now, it looks like the timing is going to be Tuesday morning. So for all the festivities Tuesday afternoon, the barbecue that Carol has planned for all of us, looking very nice. But we could see some rainy cooler temperatures by the beginning of next week.
We started talking about that at 4 o'clock, and I asked the guys if they were cooking, and are you?
She's talking fillets and jumbo shrimp.
I think
That's
so.
what I heard.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks, Clint.
Okay.
Well, records are set at Wimbledon.
Mexico won last night 10-4, but the Drillers will go after them again starting at 7. Roger Federer broke Bjorn Borg's record for most wins in a row on a grass surface. Federer has now won 42 tennis matches in a row. That victory came today at Wimbledon. Andre Agassi was also a winner in his final Wimbledon. Agassi got off to a slow start, but then easily won in 4 sets. Ronaldo set a new all-time World Cup scoring record today. The Brazilian scored here for the 15th time in a World Cup match. Brazil easily thumped Ghana 3-0 to move on to the quarterfinals. They will next play France. The French whipped Spain today 3-1 with a pair of very late goals to break the tie. There's still roughly a week and a half left at the World Cup. The guy who heads up Nike Golf is from right here in our viewing area. Tom Stites grew up in Sallisaw and then graduated from Oklahoma State. He's in town for a tournament, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk with him. Tom has taken Nike to the top of golf in a very short period of time.
We've got 40, 50 wins on tour with our products, so we've already established our credibility to be able to cover the best players in the world. Now it's extremely important. The Sasquatch and the Slingshot were big examples of that. We want to take, the game and make it more fun for just the average, rank and file golfers that sweat and bleed out on the golf course. We want to have, products that bring enjoyment to their game also.
And hello to Tom's mom, who's watching tonight, and also coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear about how Nike is changing golf a little bit for the future.
I need a chainsaw for my golf bag.
Get down the
Are you
tree.
one of those who sweat and bleed, as he just said?
In the bushes, yeah.
All right, thanks.
One of our own is honored by the Arkansas River Historical Society.
We're going to tell you who and why he is being credited with some of Tulsa's early success.
One of them was James C. Lake. He was honored posthumously. Lake was the first owner of KTUL. He's credited with producing a promotional film for the port of Catoosa. Some say it helped to transform Oklahoma from a Dust Bowl state to what it is today, a state with more shoreline than any other.
He was truly a pioneer in many respects, along with broadcasting in many other areas.
And an amazing character besides.
Yeah.
That's our news for now. We thank you very much for joining us.
Our coverage continues at 10 following Boston Legal. Have a great night.
Coverage from Live Wager 8 is brought to you by Henry Primo's Crown Bristow, the all-new Primo Kia in Tulsa, and Clear Tone, because life should sound great.